Dee 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 dee. Keto living is the life for me. Coffee, cooking, and recipes. Spending my days with my doggies. So be a sport. Set your alarm for Wednesdays for the Warden's Report.
Welcome to the Warden Report, and it is Wednesday already, y'all. I'm loving seeing all y'all's comments on this past Warden Report, so I hope this one lives up to your expectations. And look, you can see who's in the background there. He likes to sit right there, which is right by the sink, so because he knows that's usually where I end up going. That way, you can watch me the entire time. But thank y'all for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoy this. I'll just be sharing how I do a high-fat keto protocol, so usually 90%. I'll share some of my dogs, what they're doing, what they're up to, their shenanigans, and then who knows, sometimes I'll do a little rant. So stay tuned. Thank you. Wednesday lunch, we've got a burger patty with some cheese. Is it the Irish cheese or the
rest of it?
The rest of the Irish cheese. Slice of bacon, 4 to 5 tablespoons of mayo with some hot sauce. I love chamoy. It actually has our hot sauce on it. And I've got my coffee, and I will be having a couple of these olives. Actually, I think there's like 3 or 4 left, so I should finish that. And that's my lunch. Wednesday dinner, what I'm having tonight, we've got some more corned beef that we made in the Instapot. We do have a recipe video. And then he just made a side of basically veggies. It's a little bit of, we get the fajita mix from HEB, which is onions and green and red bell peppers. And then he added some mushrooms and jalapenos to it. Just sauteed that up with some Chef Shammy butter. And then I have my cowboy butter here. We actually used the Chef Shammy for that, so it already had the lemon in it. And then I'm going to have a couple little cheese, string cheese. So I'm going to pull it apart, eat it correctly. And then I've got water. And that's our dinner tonight. Thursday lunch, so I've got a burger. We're trying this. I know that looks like American cheese. It's the HEB version of American cheese, which is clean, just like the Velveeta one. It's just slices. And then I've got like 4 tablespoons of mayo, piece of bacon, some olives, pickles. Got my Dutch Bros and keto cups. I might have this a little bit. We'll see. Thursday night dinner. Guess what? We got corned beef again. Got 4 tablespoons of butter. And then I have a couple mushrooms and a jalapeno stuffed with goat cheese. That's dinner tonight. And then, of course, I've got my water there. And that'll do it. It's Friday. It's Friday. I'm actually hungry this morning. It's about 10 a.m. I know I typically eat lunch around 1. But I'm hungry, so I'm fixing some Pernell's sausage. Who else uses the term fixing? Sorry, it's my southern heritage. I'm fixing to do whatever it is. And I've got about 3 tablespoons of mayo, some Dave's hot sauce, and then my current mug for the week. So I'm blocking out. I'm trying to be PG here, but y'all know me, I ain't that PG. But anyways, this is, ooh, look at that. I like where they get that nice sear. Ooh, and I'm just doing this on a 4 setting. I'm going to turn it off to get that nice sear there. And so, that's what I'm going to eat this morning. And then, we'll see what else we have for the rest of the day. I can tell you tonight, look, you're coming with me, y'all. We're traveling. For the rest of the day, we have got, look, this is actually for our channel member cook along. And where did he put it? Oh, okay. I know it ain't the cleanest, y'all. It ain't the cleanest, but I love freaking pizza. So we got pepperoni. So I hope you two did to the Friday night feast. And again, I mean, it's not the cleanest, but it is less than 2%. So, you know, I just love pepperoni. I love cured meats. You know, they're always saying, oh, cured meats are bad, but, you know, y'all, I love cured meats. Pepperoni, hard salami, even Genoa salami if I'm in a pinch. But, yeah, all of that stuff, I've just always loved it. But, yeah, so that's it. I think these are now ready. So I'm going to pull these off. Ooh, look at that. And then, all the little fat, see there's, kind of see there where I put it. There's probably almost a tablespoon of fat. I'm just going to drizzle that on top. So I need both hands for that. But thank you all for coming along with me on this wonderful Friday morning. Friday lunch, I got a cheeseburger with a slice of bacon, a little bit of onion, and 5 tablespoons of mayo, along with a little bit of barbecue sauce and that Love Chamoy. And then I've got some pickles I'll add on the side, and the rest of my coffee. That'll be Friday, y'all. Saturday lunch, we are at Saltgrass. This is the house salad minus the croutons. And then I just ordered the balsamic vinaigrette on the side because I don't know how sweet it would be. So I'm just going to try it and see. I might just end up ordering olive oil, or look, it's only 2 tablespoons. So we'll see. But that's my salad. And for my main meal, I've got a 12-ounce prime rib. That's a Friday, Saturday special only. Some au jus, and this is a sour cream mixed with horseradish, or you can just ask for just the fresh horseradish. And I went ahead and did the Brussels sprouts today. It's been a while. I'm okay with it. I know it will probably inflame me some, but I'm good with it. And then they're supposed to be bringing us both the steak butter and the potato butter on the side. Sunday brunch, and I made Noosh chocolate chip pancakes with pecans. I've got about 4 tablespoons of butter, some Lakanto syrup, and then 3 Purnell sausage. And that'll be brunch today. Of course, I've got some coffee and water, but that's it for now. Sunday night dinner, and we're watching Radical Geeks Coffee Talk while we've got smoked beef rib that Heath made today in the smoker. And then we've got crab chili stuffed mushrooms and jalapenos and some pickles. And that's dinner. Happy Monday, y'all. So I've got my coffee, and I'm having for breakfast today a couple Purnell sausage, and I've got the grease poured off in there, 2 tablespoons of mayo, and I mixed in some Dave's Hot and a little bit, like a teaspoon of the Lakanto maple syrup. I was like kind of going for a sweet heat. And that's for breakfast today. Just kind of hungry. Thought I'd try something a little different. Monday's lunch, I've got a burger patty, and it's that HEB, their version of American cheese, but there's none of the dextrose or wonky oils. It's just basically cheese. And then we've got a slice of bacon, some pickles, and then I decided to just double up the avocado. So it's avocado mayo mixed with mashed avocado. I mean, hello. And it's, what I did was one of those avocado cups plus 3 tablespoons of mayo. And then I added, of course, my Redmond's smoked salt. This is the hickory blend. And I feel like it needs a little more, right? I just love avocado with salt. And then I'm also going to have some of our hot sauce. Monday night dinner, I've got about 6 ounces, a little over 6 ounces of that pork tenderloin that Heath smoked yesterday. And then I've got our crab chili stuffed jalapenos, mushrooms, and then I just did a little bit of pork panko on top of that, put them in the air fryer. So they got a little crunch. And then I've got cowboy butter. So we just put out that recipe video on Monday. Sorry I'm moving so much. Probably y'all are like getting a little queasy there. But anyways, but how I did this one, since we're doing it with pork, is I still did just the regular stone ground mustard. And then for the seasoning, besides salt, let me do it this way. Besides salt, I did the pork and poultry rub that we make. So then it's kind of got that little bit of sweet heat to it. And that'll, I think, pair perfectly with this pork tenderloin. And there we go. Tuesday breakfast brunch. It's like 10:15. I have 2 Pernell sausage. I poured the fat in with it and a little bit of Lakanto syrup. And then I've got 2.5 tablespoons of mayo with some Dave's hot sauce. And of course I have a cup of coffee. That wraps up another week of the Warden Report. And I was just going to talk to y'all for a couple minutes. Of course you could fast forward through this part. But I've been watching this therapist on YouTube, right? Things I get recommended. Anyways, he deals a lot with childhood trauma. So, if y'all haven't gathered from any of the lives and stuff, Heath and I did not have, either one of us, have the best childhood, so to speak. I mean, I assume there's people out there that actually have normal, wonderful childhoods and wonderful parents, and y'all are so fortunate. However, I did not, and I know Heath certainly did not. You know, not placing blame on any particular parent or anything, just, you know, life is hard, and life is sometimes really hard for people to deal with. And sometimes when, you know, someone has a hard life and they're not, maybe, I guess the term would be like emotional, mature, or have the right tools to handle things in life, they happen to also be parents. And, you know, when you already don't know how to handle things in your own personal life correctly, and then you end up having kids, guess what? Sometimes you don't teach the kids then the appropriate ways. And so, yeah, there's still a lot of childhood trauma that I am, you know, just trying to work through, understand, heal from, and, you know, just try to, as much as possible, normalize and look at things in a lot better light, right? Learn how to actually handle things in a better way. And one of the things he was talking about is, you know, like there's these different structures that, you know, are basically toxic families and stuff, and that you come from a multitude of toxic families. So I won't get into all the details of, you know, the different toxicity that I experienced growing up, and a lot of it, and I kind of find this maybe with other people, you don't realize how bad it is until you're older and you see other people whose families are not like that, and you're like, well, wait a second, you mean that's not normal for your, you know, your family doesn't act like that? You don't have those type of things happen, and you're like, wait a second. And sometimes you don't even realize, you know, how you're being treated in life, right? Like, there was a lot of stuff that I just assumed as the black sheep of the family, or as the scapegoat of the family, that, okay, that's just how it is, right? And I just accepted a lot of that. And even some of it I saw in how my mother was treated by her mother, right? This generational thing. And I just assumed, oh, okay, that's just how it is. I made excuses. Well, this or that, this or that. And then actually when I got with Heath, he like pointed a lot of those out. Even though we both have our own trauma, sometimes it's easier to see other people's. And, because I've pointed out some things on his, like, hey, this and this. But he pointed out some things and, came to realization, yeah, that's right. That shouldn't happen. And I shouldn't be that way, right? And so, a lot of that's happened. And I bring this up to say, in the keto world, a lot of times we're so focused on health and how to eat properly or eat keto and how to do this or that. You gotta exercise, you gotta do that. But I don't feel like a lot of people mention the mental aspects of everything, because that is a huge thing. A lot of us developed maybe eating disorders, or how we handle food and everything, and our outlook on ourselves isn't just based on the food alone. It's based on whatever trauma or issues we've gone through in life. So I know a lot of mine is I had childhood trauma, right? And I was the type of person that I did not speak about it. Instead, I packed it on weight, right? That is how I handled things. So I wouldn't say I binged eat or anything like that. It's just I hold in all my emotions and everything, and then my body just is like, I guess, in constant stress. And I don't know why I'm getting emotional now, but anyways, so I think a lot of it is just when you are constantly stress all the time, that, your body is constantly in fight mode, that in my experience, I just gained weight. And that's how I built a wall around me. I mean, what better way to build a wall other than to actually physically build a wall, right? And so that's what I've always done. So with the keto, I feel like I'm eating healthy and have been for, the last 4 years. But I still know that there is a lot of trauma I have to deal with, and kind of coming to terms with that, and kind of learning things on how to deal with that emotion when it comes to the mental aspects. And I've brought this up before, is, keto isn't, or I guess I should say, when you come to keto, some people come only for the weight loss, some only for the health. And I think the longer you stay keto, the more you realize that, you know what, yeah, it's easy. To me, it's easy to eat healthy. That isn't the issue. The biggest issue, the most underlying issue for most of us, is there is some kind of unresolved trauma or unresolved issue, emotional issue, that really needs to be addressed. And maybe it's because of getting healthy on keto that it kind of clears our mind, our thought process. We talk about that mental clarity. And I think with that mental clarity kind of comes that realization that, oh, you know what? I'm not living in this fog anymore, and I could kind of see everything that's going on. I mean, let me know if anybody else has felt that way. Like, I kind of feel that way now, like used to when I would eat all the carbs and the sugars. Like, I just felt tired, and that was enough to deal with, that I didn't want to deal with anything else. Hey, just dealing with that or escaping into that. That was my way of handling all of that. Well, now that I don't have that anymore, right? Getting physically healthy, it's like my mind's like, oh, you know what? You've got this other stuff you need to kind of address. You need to kind of figure out how to work through that. And so this past week, I've been watching this gentleman, and if y'all are interested, I'll leave his channel. But I've been watching his YouTubes and kind of like realizing a lot of stuff that I've gone through, and I've been like, oh, now that kind of makes sense. Now I see where that happened, or okay, I see that's how I react for certain things, and this is why I act this way or that way. And I was even talking it over like with Heath, and we were going over, because a lot of times if you did have like childhood trauma, it was drama. When you have childhood trauma, a lot of times you are connected, or you feel attracted to other people that also had childhood trauma. And there's actually, he discussed where there's certain couples, like if you both experience childhood trauma, you respond this way, and usually the person you get with is the person who responds like this way. And it was just really interesting, because I was like, yeah, that's like one of them he talked about. I was like, oh, that's definitely Heath and I. And what was good though is, yeah, he talks about that, and then he tells you tools to correct that. How do you go through and make the situation better? How do you move forward emotionally? Because a lot of it is like we're emotionally stunted because we were never taught the correct way to handle emotions as a child. So we never got to grow those emotions. So it was a lot for me to have to realize. And there were some things, you know, I told Heath that, you know, some things I realized, like, even from a baby, that I was like, wow, the things that, you know, my parents basically pushed on me, you know, like I was supposed to be their emotional support instead of the other way around. And it's just kind of like realized it. It's like, okay, those kind of things, you know, sometimes you have to acknowledge those things, because how else are we going to actually get healthy if we don't look at our mental health aspect of things? How can we can all put on a shiny face here and say, oh my gosh, keto's so great. And you know, a lot of times I'm always going to be the person that's like bubbly and happy and be like, oh, everything's great, everything's wonderful, because that's how I deal. And it's like, sometimes we need to, like, for real, step out and say, you know what, we're not perfect by any means. Please don't ever feel like I'm like the end all be all and I know everything that's right, and oh, keto is just perfect and keto cures everything, because, you know, it doesn't. It's still up to you to decide how to heal your life, not just healing yourself physically, but also healing yourself mentally. And I think that's good to show people out there that, you know what, you know, even though we're keto, there are still strides we have to make with our health and our mental health. And it's okay to be out there to share that with people. So I know that kind of went really deep at the end here, and sorry about that. But if you're okay with all this, go ahead and just comment hugs. Let's give everybody hugs today. I feel like that would be good. And just, you know, any tips that you have, you know, how are you doing mentally? Let's do a mental check-in and just, you know, let us know how everybody is handling things mentally. And I guess I'll wrap that up. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up. And stay tuned to see all of our wonderful channel members. Thank y'all so much for all of your support every week. And I'm sorry, I'm like teary-eyed. That's just silly. But anyways, thank you all so much for all your support. Have a wonderful week. And remember, we are in this together. So we are all friends. We can all help each other with all of the aspects of keto. Bye.